Belinda had a close-knit family and spent a lot of time in the company of her loving grandma, who, by all accounts, was your typical Scottish granny, full of hugs and good cheer. When Belinda was around 14, her gran's health deteriorated and sadly she soon passed. This was to be Belinda's first funeral and something she struggled with. She remembers seeing her gran's coffin being lowered into the ground and shouting, "You can't put my granny in a hole. You can't put my granny in a hole." Such was the depth of feeling she had for her gran. A few months passed before Belinda felt up to going with her mother and father back to Morton Hall Crematorium to see her granny. A previous visitor must have left some flowers by the gravestone, so her parents wandered off to find some water, leaving Belinda alone and stood at the foot of the grave, looking towards her granny's gravestone. It was then that things took a strange turn. Belinda noticed a faint white mist start to emerge from her grave, covering the length of it, and as she stood, wondering what this was, the mist took on a human-like shape and started to pivot up towards her. She stood, staring in shock and disbelief at what she was seeing. This was a ghost, a classic apparition in the middle of the day and in broad daylight. There was no other way to describe it. She didn't notice any clothes, but felt the apparition was in a shroud of white. She soon noticed the face start to slowly form within the mist. Then she heard a voice, her granny's voice. "Don't be frightened. I will always be here. I will always look after you." The face was now fully formed, and it was, without doubt, the face of her beloved granny, gently smiling back at her. Shortly after, the vision of her gran started to fade, and, as it did, Belinda's peripheral vision started to go black until everything bar the slowly disappearing mist was in darkness. She was calm, at peace and unafraid, but aware that everything was black as pitch. She could see nothing around her or hear the typical noises of the area, and she described this to me as feeling so real but unreal at the same time. After what could have been 5 seconds or 5 minutes, Belinda's sight started to return to normal, and she could see her mum and dad returning with a watering can. Belinda never shared this story with her parents, and never spoke of it until later in her life, and has always felt that her gran was true to her word and continues to watch over her. She felt at the time that her appearance was personal to her, and she wanted it to stay that way. Later in life, she spoke with a spiritualist and relayed this story to them. While describing what she saw, the spiritualist reacted with mild shock when hearing how her vision had gone, and Belinda could see nothing. To the spiritualist, this was confirmation that it was a genuine visitation, and not Belinda's young mind playing tricks on her.